Hi, this is Kate. This video will show you how to use Google Meet to have video conferences with your students. I recommend using Google Classroom to generate your Google Meet link. The reason why you want to do it in Google Classroom is because it will automatically create a nickname for the meeting, which will automatically include privacy settings that will prohibit your students from joining before you have joined or from rejoining after you have left. So I'm going to start by going to Google Classroom and finding the class that I would like to meet with. Open that class. I want to enable the Google Meet integration with Google Classroom. To do that, I need to access the settings, which I can do by clicking on the gear up in the top right. If I scroll down to the General section, I will see a new section where Google Meet has integrated with Google Classroom. I can toggle on this switch here to make that link visible to students. When I click Save, that link will now appear in my stream right here at the top in this banner, and it will also appear in the Classwork tab at the top of the screen. My students and I can click on that link to join a meeting anytime. That link can stay there. We can reuse it as many times as we'd like, and students cannot join that meeting without the teacher being present in the meeting. I'm going to go back into that settings gear to show you a couple other options in addition to turning on that link and having it visible to students. If you click on this drop-down arrow here, you can easily copy that link.
This can be used to share the meeting link with someone who's not in your Google Classroom, but who is a staff or student at PVUSD.
And you can also reset the link if you need to change it for some reason. I'm going to switch over to the student view here to show you what it looks like when a student tries to join the meeting before the teacher has joined. So here I am in the student view. I can tell because I have this T up here for Test 2 student, and I'm going to click on that link. I get this message. It says you can't create a meeting yourself. If you're joining a meeting from Google Classroom, wait for your teacher to join and then refresh this page. So I'm going to head back to the teacher view, and I'll join as the teacher. Join now. Okay, and now I'm going to switch back to the student view and reload this page. Now the student will be asked for camera and microphone permissions and can join the call. Join now. Because of this security feature, you'll want to click the link to join about 5 minutes before your meeting is scheduled to begin. Your webcam turns on, and I'm going to go ahead and turn mine off. Up here, I see the nickname that was automatically generated by Google Classroom. Before I join the meeting, this is a great opportunity to make sure that my audio is working and my camera is working. I saw that my camera was working before I turned it off. I can tell that my microphone is working because these little bars in the bottom left of this black screen bounce up and down when I talk. If I didn't see my camera or didn't see those bars bouncing up and down, I can go over here to the More options and click on Settings. And this is where you have some options to choose a microphone. Maybe you have something plugged in, or you're using the built-in microphone on your device. You'll want to make sure that you've selected the right microphone that makes those dots move when you talk. And then speakers, you can click here to test. You might not hear my dial tone in this video, but I've heard it, and so I know that I can proceed and I will hear the audio in the meeting. There's also a video tab here where you can select a different camera if for some reason you aren't seeing yourself in that window pane. When you've checked your audio and video, click Done, and you are ready to join the meeting. If for some reason you're still having audio issues, you can get some other options here for joining using a phone for audio. And when you're ready to join, click Join Now. That joining info will appear for you in case you wanted to copy it and share it. Just going to close that. And now I'm in my meeting. So this is what you should see when you join the meeting. Something like this. I only have 3 people in my meeting. You can tell by the number 3 up here next to the people symbol. If I click on that people symbol, it will show me everyone in the meeting. So right now it's just me and 2 test students. And in my view, I just see the 2 test students. I have some different view options, and your view might look a little bit different because I have a couple extensions installed here. I have Grid View and Nod Reactions for Google Meet. Grid View allows you to see more participants in one grid view at a time, little tiles on your screen. Right now, without Grid View, the maximum I think you can see is 4 at a time. And then Nod Reactions allows students to raise their hands and respond with some emojis. Instructions on how to use both of those extensions are on the Distance Learning website on the Google Meet page. But for now, I'm going to skip over those and just show you the different layout options available within Google Meet. If you go down to the 3 dots in the bottom right corner and click on those, you can choose to change your layout. If you click on Change Layout, you'll see some different layout options. I prefer the tiled option because it allows you to see more participants at once. No matter which layout option you choose, if you want to focus on one person, you can pin them to the screen by clicking on the push pin icon that appears when you click on their tile. That will make that one person fill the screen. And you can find other people by clicking on the person icon. Selecting the drop-down arrow next to their name, you can find the push pin to pin them to the screen. You also have a couple other options over here in the People tab. As the teacher, you can mute students. They would have to unmute themselves, and you can show them how to do that. And you can remove students from the meeting. If you want to hear from a student and they are muted, you might need to instruct them to unmute themselves. If they haven't touched their trackpad or mouse in a while, the options at the bottom of the screen might go away. To get those options back, they should just click somewhere in the middle of their screen. That brings up the options at the bottom, which include clicking on the microphone to turn it back on. If the student leaves their microphone on and you're getting a lot of feedback or background noise, you can always come over here to the People tab and mute them. There are some other options down here on the 3 dots. In addition to changing your layout, you can record the meeting. If you'd like to be able to post a recording of the meeting into your Google Classroom or Class Dojo, just click on Record Meeting. It will ask you to ask for consent, so make sure you tell other participants that you are going to be recording the meeting, and they will have the option to leave if they don't feel comfortable with that. And then this recording symbol will appear in the top left corner of your screen, as well as the top left corner of all participants' screens, so they will know that the meeting is being recorded. When you're done recording the meeting, come back down to the 3 dots to stop recording. As soon as you click stop, the recording will be saved in your Google Drive. You will also get an email notification including a file of that recording, so you can post it into your Google Classroom. You and your students also have the ability to chat using the chat feature, which can be accessed up here in the top right by clicking on this speech bubble. This opens the chat thread, and you can type a message in the bottom. Everything that you type in here will be visible by all participants in the meeting. And this is a good way for your students to ask questions during the meeting without interrupting you or turning on their microphones. So I recommend that you come over and check your chat often during your class meeting to see if your students have been asking questions. I also want to show you how to present your screen. If you're having a class meeting and you want to show your students something on another website, you can choose to present your screen by clicking the Present Now button in the bottom right corner. And you can choose to present your entire screen or just a window. I'm going to select my entire screen. This smaller window will pop up. I need to click on the picture of my screen, and that will allow me to click Share. It will tell me in the top that I am presenting. And now my students are going to see everything that's on my screen. So maybe you want to show them how to complete an assignment on Google Classroom. You can pop over to a different tab of Google Classroom, show them the classwork that you've assigned to them, and explain it. And they will see whatever is on your screen, whether you're in a different tab or a different window. When you're done presenting, just pop over to the tab where you have your Google Meeting open. It will be the one with the red dot on it, and you can come down to the bottom right where it says you are presenting and select Stop Presenting. That will return you to the regular view where your students will see either your webcam or your icon. When the meeting is over, you'll want to make sure that you are the last one to leave. You can ask your students to leave the meeting by clicking on the telephone symbol at the bottom toolbar. Remember, if that toolbar goes away, they can always bring it back by clicking somewhere in the middle of the screen or moving their mouse or finger on the trackpad. If the students are having some trouble exiting the meeting, you can always help them out by coming up here to the people icon, and next to each student, clicking on that drop-down arrow and removing them by clicking on the minus sign. It will ask if you're sure. Just click remove. The student will not be able to come back into this meeting. If you accidentally remove a student and click remove, you'll have to generate a new meeting link in order to get that student back into your meeting. When you're the last one in the meeting, you can leave the meeting by clicking on the telephone symbol. It's important that you leave the call and close your browser in order to ensure that students can't come back into the meeting.